What's happening, YouTube family? It's your boy Lamont Tyson in the building. I am 6 minutes early because y'all know that these power live streams get nuts. They get live, they get nuts. We ask crazy questions, we take phone calls. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be taking phone calls again this year, but we're going to start doing that probably next week so that we can give people the opportunity to know that we're consistent with our live stream and that we are here to entertain, give information, and serve you, the people, my subscribers. Tonight, I'm supposed to have Larry. Of course, he's riding on the bus. And of course, tonight, I'm also going to be having Sharonda from PValley is supposed to join us to discuss power, to discuss PValley, which, ladies and gentlemen, behind closed doors, PValley was a good series, and last night's finale was pretty good. It was just overshadowed by power. So we're going to discuss those. There was another TV show that was in the foreshadow, but this one wasn't overshadowed, and that was The Boys. That shit is right, ladies and gentlemen. The first 3 episodes of that was right. We're going to discuss that. We're also going to discuss Lovecraft Country, episode number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a full night of reviewing everything that happened Sunday. And until everybody else gets in here, let me shout out to everyone who has joined us. And we've got a lot of new people following me for Power, and they've caught some of my other videos. So let me shout out the crew. Support Gaming, Conda Forever. Marlon Kelly, Conda Forever. 351 Cleveland, Conda Forever. Buzz, Conda Forever. My folk Mike Willie with Conda Forever. Copeland Studios, been here for a long time, Conda Forever. Razul Tamis, what's up? What's up, my brother? What's up, people? I'm going to go ahead and get the discussion popping a little bit. And you guys leave me your comments. I will try to put some of them on the screen. And again, next week, the phones are going to be ringing. And y'all know we always ask y'all the craziest questions possible about some of the love interests and different things on Power. What's up, Alex? And anyone who super chats, I've got a whole fresh line of videos. So when you super chat this channel, I always give you a funny video that's from Pop Culture Lure, dating me for my age. So I'm about 40 years old. So you get some kind of a pop culture movie from 1980 through now. So when you super chat, that's what you're going to get. Renee, I don't want to butcher your last name. What's up? Mike Willie, all the families in there. Spill the damn tea TV. It's in the building. What's going on, people? And let's go ahead and get this conversation started with Power. Damn good episode. And I think a lot of us was wondering, how is they going to spin a Tariq-based episode-based show in a manner that we could all get behind it? And I feel like they did an excellent job of setting the groundwork for us to get behind a story based on a character that we hated, a story based on a character that we all felt like needed a damn butt whipping, a story based on a character who was pompous and spoiled and was reaching out for something that he had no business reaching out for, and that is Tariq. But last night, they painted Tariq in a light that I think we can get behind simply because Tasha St. Patrick is dealing with the court issues. So they weaved in a little bit of adult-based things for us people who are 30 plus. But they also did a good job of weaving in things for those individuals in that 18 to 25 range. And when they brought Mary J. Blige in, we've got a super chat, ladies and gentlemen, and he's ready for his old school video. So Buzz, let me see what I'm gonna give you special. I've showed you this one before. So I've got a new one for you. This one right here is for you, my brother, and enjoy. Buzz, that was for you, baby. The Lord is my shepherd. And he blessed me to have such a good subscriber named Buzz, who, ladies and gentlemen, served as a police person back in the day. Much respect to the brother. And look who we done found on I can't even say CPT time because he's actually made it right on the clock. It's the good brother Larry. get in trouble, good trouble, necessary trouble. A famous black person who just died said all those things. Larry, how you feeling, my brother?
I'm doing pretty good, man. You guys went in on me early.
Well, you know, power. As I was telling the people before you came on, I went and did a TBS thing. I went on 5 minutes early, like back in the day. And I'm telling all the people that, oh man, I hear the baby crying. And I was just telling the people that, oh man, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody's on time. Joining us, coming to the stage is not Crooked Letter. It's the first lady of reviews, ladies and gentlemen. It's the big homie Sharonda. How you feeling?
I'm hurt. I'm hurt.
Man, I'm glad I wore this shirt.
Right now, that's how I feel about this PValley finale. Okay, I am hurt.
That was heartbreaking. That was heartbreaking.
What in the world, man? We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to
PValley. I wore this shirt. I didn't know that trouble was coming on with us.
Oh my Lord, have mercy. Oh my God. Here y'all go. Now Teresa C is in there talking about T-Stream. Teresa C, you're gonna have to let that good daydream go. He probably won't be back, but twice a year, we're gonna see T-Streams on this line. But having said that, we've already started the power conversation. And so I want to ask each and every one of you two. And I'll start with Sharonda first. Give me your quick 2-minute synopsis of how you felt about the introduction of Power Book 2 first episode last night.
It was
cool. Okay. Well, damn. If she's going to leave it at that, I'll give it to my long-winded friend, Larry. But before I give it to Larry, let me just remind everybody, be sure to subscribe to all 3 of these channels. You get fired. You got me, you got Larry, you got the first lady of reviews, the youngest in the game, Sharonda. And programming note Wednesday, we will have my guy, E-Man, coming back to the channel to cleanse my dirty channel. I've used too many cuss words, and he comes up here to cleanse it and tell us what's going on in Hollywood. So now, Larry, your turn. Give me 2 minutes on what you thought about Power, then we'll break it down.
Well, first, let me address Sharonda. So, you know, when someone doesn't like something, but they don't want to get in trouble for saying it, so they just say, it's cool, or they say, it's all right. In other words, it's all right.
It's cool. Like, I need more episodes. Like, I said in my review, I need a couple more episodes before I can make an informed decision.
Okay.
Well, okay,
well,
Larry. Jump on in there, Larry, because I've got some good questions I'm going to ask both of y'all, especially Larry, because I know everybody wants to know who's Larry's love interest going to be this season since old forehead Ramona is not in it. I know they want to know who's your new love interest. Now, I will say this about the cast. This is a beautiful cast, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, there's some hotties in this cast, men and women. But Larry, let us know what you're thinking.
Well, one thing I will say is they showed little clips of everybody seemed to be coming back when they showed, you know, some of the previews for the coming episodes. I don't know why they couldn't show Ramona. I mean, they showed Congressman Tate. You know, there's word that maybe Tommy's going to show up at the funeral. You know, we've seen a bunch of folks. We've seen Tasha. You know. I don't know why they just can't show Ramona. Why can't she come through? You know?
Man.
Get
on with it, man. Damn it. Just get the Ramona. Well, Ramona is not coming back unless you see her in one of your wet dreams. So just get on with it, man.
We don't know that. We don't know. For all we know, she may see the potential in Tariq the way she saw it in Ghost. And she's like, I'm just gonna go from one ghost to the other. This one's going to have a little bit longer shelf life.
That lets you know that she can't be trusted. She doesn't make good judgments, okay?
Here we go.
I'm with Sharonda on that one.
You look like Ramona Raggedy behind.
I'll tell you this.
Just gullible. You look like her.
Here we go. I will tell you this. Now that they're all in college, I feel good because now it's safe for me to look at Effie. You know?
Yeah. And she looked pretty good. She looked good yesterday, too.
She did. She was looking extra cute, like a little round-the-way girl.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she looked like she should have been in a 1994 LL Cool J video. She was looking nice.
Round-the-way girl.
Huh?
Not a round-the-way girl.
Why not? What's wrong with a round-the-way girl?
I'm glad that y'all talking about all these beautiful people, but where are the dark-skinned women? I saw all exotic-looking chicks the whole episode.
No, the counselor was dark-skinned.
The counselor and Diana. The counselor and Diana.
No.
What?
I said dark skin.
Wait, which one's Diana?
Diana was one. Diana is Mary J. Blige's character's daughter. She's not dark skinned enough for you?
No.
Okay.
I want a blackity black.
Look, it don't get no darker than me. And I'm the blackest one on this screen that we looking at. And I seen two people up there that was my complexion. You had both of the professors. You had Professor Negro.
That is a lie. The professor is like another version of Cat Graham. No.
What about the dude?
What about Tasha?
Yeah, what about Tasha? Huh?
Tasha the only one. Y'all brought all these new people and ain't nobody dark skinned. I'm sick of it.
The counselor's dark skinned, Tasha's dark skinned. The little girl that Tariq's interested in is dark skinned.
Mary J. Blige is in there. Mary J. Blige is kind of
Mary J. Blige is Mary J. Blige dark. She's definitely
dark. Yeah.
I said blackity black. Not no hazel eyes, not no pearl patterns going on. Like Tasha's the only black person. These are beautiful, exotic, mixed looking, racially ambiguous, good enough for black, but not really black looking people. Stop it.
What?
Stop it.
What? Come on, man. You can't go in on black folks like that. We come in all shades and colors and textures.
We only come in the exotic, light skin, hazel eye, curly hair. No. I want more.
I feel her on her point. But I felt like Diana was dark. I felt like the professor was dark. Mary J. Blige is dark. Tasha is dark. And Tamika.
What about Ramona?
Ramona, light skin, man. She the color the back of my head. And Tamika is dark skin.
Her soul's a little dark.
I want love interests, main characters to be dark.
You don't think the little girl Tariq was peeping out was dark enough?
They made it a point to say that she's black and Puerto Rican. So
they did do that, Larry.
They made
it means that she's double black because Puerto Ricans are already black.
Oh, God. Larry, give me your synopsis.
She's double black. And there you go, black and black.
Larry, we have a show to do, and I need you to stay on mission. We're gonna come back to her point. Give me your minute synopsis of the episode.
Hold on, I'm going to put my M&Ms down for this one.
Are they dark chocolate M&Ms?
Yeah, and I put my M&Ms down for this one because Sharona says she wants someone blackity black. The little dark-skinned girl that Tariq's interested in is black mixed with Puerto Rican, and since Puerto Rican's already black, she's blackity black. She qualifies as blackity black.
That's fine. Y'all can say I'm doing the most on this, but it might seem like I'm doing the most even for it to be power. But for the hours of television that I have to consume every week, the movies I have to consume, and I continuously see women, and everyone on Powerful is beautiful, okay? But I'm tired of seeing the same looking women. Like, I don't think people realize you keep watching that stuff over and over again, it starts to get ingrained in people's heads. So, like, not every black person is mixed with another culture. There are people who are just black, and that's okay. But I think that we need to see people who look like us on the screen. And every time I'm watching a show, her mama white, her daddy black, her mama black, or her daddy Puerto Rican. It's always something else instead of somebody just being black. Is that too much to ask for? Like, we exist. I know my black ass mama exists and my black ass daddy. So I'm just saying, like, I want to see more of that because it's really becoming a problem.
Now, so let me ask you this, Sharonda. Do you feel like Power overdone it by trying to force too much diversity because they've got Black, they got Puerto Rican, they've got Hispanic, they've got white, or do you feel like go ahead?
I don't think there's anything wrong with diversity. I like that they're actually showing an Afro-Latina. Like, Hispanic, they act like Afro-Latinas or Afro-Latino that they don't exist either. That there's a part of a Black heritage built into like the Hispanic, the Latinx community. But what I'm saying is, it's just starting to become. I'm just starting to feel like every person is starting to just look the same, and that's just my problem. Like you just see it everywhere, and it's just like there are other types of Black women that exist, and it's almost, I think it's just hard enough going through life and how they show that, you know, Black women are always the least desirable, and how they're trying to push it through the media that they have to look like this. Everyone has to be mixed with something else to be considered this beautiful Black woman. And I just want, especially when it shows that are ran by people like us, I expect more. This ain't like it's a show ran by white people. So
you want to see some dark-skinned FBAs on there? I'm just saying.
Now here's the thing. I'm
not going to argue with you because if I made that same argument, people would have stepped all over me because I've made it before.
You made the same argument last week.
I make that argument all the time. Yeah, so I was keeping quiet so that you could say it. That way people can hear it.
No, people heard it last week.
Don't hear it.
People heard it last week when you made the same exact argument, and you basically tried to say that Angela, who was light, was a Puerto Rican, so that made her Black. And this falls right in line with what we're talking about today. But great, I agree with Sharonda. I'm all about the diversity and all that, but I'm also about showing the darker shades too, because I know what she's saying is true. You've seen it from the hip hop videos from back when we was kids all the way to now, and they're still slowly, very slowly trying to integrate. But Larry, tell us about how you feel about the story.
You know, I was actually a little surprised because I was fully expecting, and as I've mentioned before, I was fully expecting and willing to hate on this entire show because I didn't like Tariq. And I was pleasantly surprised that the story was actually quite good. I mean, from what I saw, it seemed like the story is shaping up. They did a good enough job of really bringing in some of the elements that we really liked from Power and putting those right into here. It was almost like there was not really a big gap. It was just sort of like, okay, you like this? Cool. We're going to toss that in there, and now we're just going to roll with it. I will say one thing, though. Tariq needs to join the doggone track club. Track team. Everywhere he was going, he was running. I was like, every time he left the house, oh, snap, I'm late. And he's running. Oh, snap, I got an appointment. And he's running. I'm like, bro, you need to hit the track team or something. But, I mean, it was pretty good. I still feel like I feel like Method Man, and I've seen him in enough stuff. I feel like the bruh needs to go take some more acting classes. He's been in there for long enough. I feel like his performances just fall a little flat. I mean, I don't when some people, when you see them on screen, you're like, oh, that's so-and-so. And then a couple moments in, you forget who you're watching because you're engrossed in their character. I never feel like I fully get away from Method Man, you know? I always feel like I'm still watching Method Man, and I would really like with Mary J. Blige. I understand it's Mary J. Blige, but it wasn't but a hot second before I forgot that it was Mary J. Blige, and I felt I was just watching her character. I didn't get that same feeling with Method Man. So, and not to say that he's a terrible actor. I just, maybe he just needs to go, let loose. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he just needs to be loose, let go of it a little bit more. I feel like he's always holding back.
Okay. So Sharonda, how did you feel about the characters acting? Well, let me just narrow it down. How did you feel about Method Man and Mary J. Blige's acting acumen yesterday?
I would tell Larry that he should watch Teenage Bounty Hunters on Netflix because Method Man is actually in that. He's actually really
in my queue, actually. It's in my queue.
Yeah, I would definitely tell you to watch that. I like Method Man. I do. I'm more on the subtle things Like, I want them to do his wardrobe up a little bit more. Like, if you're supposed to be like, if you asking people for a $500,000 deposit up front, I need you to look like you have to have money to even be amongst my presence. And I needed them to like kind of, do stuff like that. Just little subtle things. I love J. Blige's character and also too Woody Harris. They are actually the most compelling characters for me that made me enjoy the episode. Just because I wanted to know about their story arc. And I almost feel like for me, I felt like Power Book 2 should have started off with a slight time jump. Like, I think that they're relying too much on the original core of Power. Like, why are we going to Jamie's funeral next week? Like, why are we going to his funeral? Why are we still wasting time on this Tasha storyline? Her going back and forth. Like, her character doesn't even seem like the typical Tasha. Like, this is Tasha who literally taught Jamie how to run his entire business, who came up with all the ideas to get them out of trouble. And now she can't even give the right informant's name. Like, she can't even give the right accomplice's names. It's like, I just think that they should have did away with most of the original cast because now they're just acting out of character at this point.
Do you feel like they kept, now this is what I'm hearing from people commenting on my videos. A lot of people feel like Tasha being in jail is the glue that's holding them connected to last season. And me and Larry both said that if they made this story good enough, people was going to watch it because people kept right on saying, I'm not going to watch it because Ghost ain't on it. And we told them that they're missing out because people change actors left and right. It's the storyline, the narratives that keep the story going. So having said that, do you
Ghost
feel
is on it though? Ghost is on it. That's what they keep messing up with. Ghost is on it. Ghost is just no longer James St. Patrick. That's all that it is, but we still have Ghost.
Yeah. Do you feel like they was afraid to time jump because they might lose some of the original people that like the show?
I think they were, and I think that's one of the things that's holding the show back. I think that we're still way too close to where we just left off with Power. So it's almost like you can't even, it's like you're going to continue to compare the two because it's literally dealing with the same storyline. And so, when we're looking at like, they went into the backstory of Saxe family. I don't give a damn about Saxe family. Like, why are we
Wait. Now, they called the man Nancy. What was that about, Sharonda and Larry? Why the hell he Nancy? Can somebody tell? I have my theory, but I want to hear what y'all think about Nancy Saxe.
I mean, Nancy, calling someone a Nancy is just a slang term for saying that a dude is weak or a girl or a sissy or something like that. It's just like if you were about to go jump off of a cliff into some water and a dude's scared, you would say, "Man, quit being a Nancy, jump," Okay. Or just saying, "You stop acting like a Nancy."
He's an F-up. Like, he's the kid that embarrasses the family, and that's why he does all of this to try to win his family's approval, their worth. But I don't care about Saxe to really go, like, I don't care about Saxe. I would rather y'all deep dive into Tamika's backstory than me trying to worry about what Raggedy Saxe got going on with his family. I don't care.
I feel you in the way that they did it. I have to say I wasn't disinterested in his family, but it seemed like we didn't need to know about it yet. But it's clear from the way that they're focusing in on his character that he's going to be a much more integral part of the story than he was before. Like in the past, he was sort of a player on the, just on the outskirts of the story. He was there, he was present, he had his times where he was necessary. Whereas I feel like now he's going to be an integral part of the story. So I'm assuming that they're telling us more about him, so we understand his motivations and stuff more when we see him on screen. We can understand him a little bit better.
And I think that his family is going to play a role in the story too. They didn't show that interaction between him and his younger brother for nothing.
Right. I mean, I just felt like for the first episode, I don't care. Like, and I guess for you guys, did you like the fact that they brought his roommate from Coates?
No, I didn't. I don't know. It looks to me like they're going to try to turn Tariq and Braden into Ghost and Tommy. But Braden has got a whole lot of growing to do. It's gonna. I don't see how that.
You talking about the basketball player?
No, remember his friend from before he got the old school.
Oh yeah.
Braden is his friend.
When are we gonna meet little dude from Shameless? When's he coming through?
He's not gonna be up here. He's on the prequel with Raising Kanan.
Oh, right. Okay.
I just felt like I think my biggest gripe with the premiere, which I actually enjoyed a lot more than I thought I was going to, is I felt like the show teetered between trying to be more lighthearted. Mm-hmm. It was like with Tariq's interactions, it was lighthearted. Like even if you listen to like kind of the background music that they played during Tariq, like running back and forth to school and stuff and interacting with people at school, it tried to make it like this lighthearted teenage drama.
Yeah.
And you have characters like Mary J and Woody, their characters that make the show darker. So it feels like it's just conflicting. Like, I don't know. I felt like Tariq was more hard.
I think that was very intentional, though, because I think they want to soften up Tariq, because I think so many of us hated him in Power. I think they're doing that to try and endear him to us a bit so that we like him a little bit more. Because he's not, I don't think in this series he's going to be such the a-hole that he was before. I don't think he's going to be the person that we're supposed to dislike. And in the last series, he was, whether they intended to or not, many of us just did not like him at all, to the point many of us were wishing something bad would happen to him. I think they're going for the exact opposite approach in this. And so I think that all that is intentional. I think the music, you know, the way they're the tone and the pacing that they're doing when he's on screen, I think it's all designed to make us like him a little bit more. At the very least, not dislike. You know, they don't want us to dislike him.
Right. Yeah, it's just conflicting. I think it messes up the tone. This tone of the show feels off at times. Like it teeters back and forth. Mm-hmm. And it was never like that on Power. It was a very serious, like the stakes were always high, no matter what they were doing.
I feel like
the stakes are still high here. I mean, dudes up there hustling straight up trying to,
I mean, what stakes were high?
I mean, he's trying to get his moms up out of jail. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's pretty high stakes if you're a mama's boy who loves your mom and she's locked up and she's telling you to go live your life. His thing is, I'm trying to get you out.
And he still wants to be a dope boy. And she taught him the game. And I think that it seems to me like they're going to drag this Tasha in jail thing out.
It does.
They might drag it out to the end of the year and set it up so that when she does get out, it could put Tariq in the middle between her and Mary J. Blige, because it looks like Tariq is going to wind up getting in bed with Mary J. Blige and that family. And then when Tasha gets out of jail, his new mama is probably going to clash with his real mama about who's going to help him run his life in this drug cartel, which is setting up for probably could be a big narrative, I think. Along with the Tariq love triangle. Are we going to finally see a threesome with Tariq, Sharonda, and Larry?
I'm not going to be in a love triangle with him.
That's a Larry question.
You said they're going to be a love triangle with Tariq, Larry, and Sharonda? No,
man. No, not with y'all in it, man. No.
Like that.
No, with Diana and Lauren, are we going to see them in bed together, or are we going to catch them fighting each other? Not saying y'all about to jump in bed.
Why y'all no. Effie out? Effie trying to get her cheeks.
Well, that's what I would say. Effie is trying to get it. I'm thinking that
love interest.
Yeah, he might have to forget a threesome. He might have to go and become he might have to go with that HBO Big Love style. He might have to buy 3 houses all back to back.
Well,
here's a little bit too much too. I'm like, girl, you don't be caping for all your students like the way you caping for Tariq. What you care? What you care for?
Now, speaking of that professor, the
she wants to catch it too. She wants to catch it too.
What is going to be the story with that professor and her ex-boyfriend or husband or whoever he is?
Jabari.
Yeah, Jabari.
I just want to say it like that.
Well, what's going to be the story with them? How are they going to get into trouble in this series? So, number one, they've had a relationship together. They fraternized, and that's not nothing you should be doing when you work together in that manner. What is going to be the twist that's going to pull them either in trouble or back together?
He's going to try and get rid of Tariq, because Tariq and that professor are about to hook up about midway through the season.
Huh?
Yeah, That's what I'm thinking. They're gonna work together on a project, and she's gonna say something slick, and Tariq's gonna say the right thing, and next thing you know, she's gonna be looking all googly-eyed at him, and it's gonna happen.
Man.
I'm just telling you. Keep calling me out. I keep saying crazy theories, and they keep coming true.
I think they go kiss, smash something.
What? You believe it too?
See?
No.
Why would you keep it for Tariq so hard? Like, you just met the kid.
Because she knows his daddy was James St. Patrick running for lieutenant governor.
But his daddy rich. They acted like Tariq came from the slums of like New York City and was just passing car life.
No, y'all missed it. Tariq is suffering psychologically and emotionally. He was in the limelight. He was in the limelight because his father was about to become the lieutenant governor of the state of New York. And then his dad tragically died. They don't know Tariq did it. They think Tariq is just this poor, sad.
You sound like the teacher.
I sound like who?
You sound like the teacher. You sound brainwashed too. This is
that's the point I'm making. I'm supporting my own argument. I'm making my damn argument. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I'm with Terrence Walton on here. I'm with Terrence in the comments. He said entanglements.
Yeah, entanglement. Entanglement. Now, if
y'all feel like he got this side story, let me tell you something. He got this little rich, raggedy white man, Simon, one of their number one boosters, who got into school, and they got some underhanded, dirty deal about him helping this dude pass class, like pass
Ezekiel.
School.
The athlete, you know that's something that go on in a lot of college campuses. I mean, just real talk. So that we can get beyond power, let me summarize it with this. Do y'all think there's any truth that Effie is connected to Simon Stearns?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I would say no.
But I think Effie's connected go deeper than we know.
Mm-hmm. Every time y'all say Effie, I'd be like, Curtis was supposed to love me.
My Lord.
Why y'all get that girl named Effie? What girl in 2020 named Effie? Effie. Come on now. Come on.
Well, it's got to start with somebody who can make that name stick. And having said that, ladies and gentlemen, it's time
let me get my theory.
Go. Oh, Lord. Do I need to take my headphones off? I'm nervous.
No. Lamont, I think Effie is a serious player in this game. And if she's not, her peoples are. Because when Tariq took that dope from her, and she said, "You gonna pay me?" And he just said, I forgot what he said. He said something smart and rolled off. I don't know too many people that are just gonna let somebody just roll off after they just ganked you for your dope. So I think she's
her connect though. Do you think Kane is her connect? I think Kane is her connect.
Canaan or Kane?
Kane.
It could be. We've never seen her connect.
Could be.
I
think her situation is so serious that she can afford to go ahead and float that for Tariq and not be a big deal.
Yeah,
for that. I was like, girl.
But she gave it to him. Probably they wanted us to assume because of the way she done Tariq dirty last year by ratting on him to kill the competition, and she slightly liked Tariq. They
liked him and still fail. So I don't understand. You can still like him and get your dang on money.
Well, it's like this. When I liked my wife when I first met her, I paid for the first date. I didn't say, Crystal, whip out your money. I liked her so much that I paid for that first date instead of us running up out of the restaurant. And that's what Effie just did. She paid for the first date. Simple as that.
That's the equivalent of somebody, if you go on a date with your wife, she steals your car, and then you say, "Don't worry, babe, I'll buy another one."
You can't steal the Tesla, baby. She would have stole the Tesla, man. I had to clap them.
He just walked away with $50,000 worth of dope.
How you know it was $50,000?
Because he gave dude 10%.
He
gave him 10%. He said he wanted $500,000. He came back with 10%. So, I mean, you just don't you don't let somebody walk away with $50,000 worth of dope unless you are seriously, seriously big time, and it's not even gonna pinch your pocket a little bit.
So I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. But
I
you
said
still,
she big time, and the girl was talking about she couldn't even afford her dang on books. How she big time? She couldn't even pay for books for school.
She can afford her books. That's what Effie wants to be. I think she wants to play that role. She wants to play that role.
Yeah, well,
big difference too. When you make that kind of money, you can't just walk into the bursar's office and pay cash. They're gonna be like, "How you have all this money?"
No, you can't do that.
People don't get it for their money.
Yeah, you got to let somebody wash all that money. So anyway, great debate, Larry and Sharonda. We're going to move on to PValley, which is probably going to make Sharonda cry. And if you're finding all of us for the first time, damn it, subscribe, because we're entertaining as hell. My channel, Larry channel, the First Lady are reviewing Sharonda. Sharonda, I'm going to go to you first. Give me your 2-minute synopsis of PValley, how you feel about the finale. Are you looking forward to next year?
Sharonda, before you start, can we just have a moment of silence for our dead love for the Crooked Letter?
I can't say her name. Her name is Keyshawn now. Like, she doesn't even deserve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. I will no longer call that girl Mississippi no more. But go ahead, Sharonda.
I just my heart hurts. My heart hurts because they alluded that she was going to take back her power, her control, and she was going to get rid of that raggedy Zach Morris wannabe, Doug wannabe. Then she was going to get rid of him. Get rid of him.
And that trick had the nerve to draw down on Diamond.
Oh, my baby daddy? That's what she did? She pulled the gun on him?
Well, apparently Mississippi got Stockholm Syndrome. Now,
she definitely does.
Now, I will say this. A lot of us thought that Diamond wasn't going to have a hard time with the baby daddy. But
hey, baby daddy, he held his own. I ain't gonna lie.
He did.
He held his own.
Now, see that right there, I didn't believe, because if I'm not mistaken, I thought we were under the impression that Diamond was like a special forces dude in the military,
and we are.
So I want to know how the special forces dude that's seriously trained is getting hemmed up by some country bumpkin dude that just puts hands on women. I'm not believing that.
He probably underestimated him.
Even if he did, it wouldn't have taken but for a hot second before he made that correction and put those paws on him, as he said. Come on, man. That dude's supposed to be special forces, and he's up there getting served up. I mean, if you work in a strip club like that, you should be able to handle 2-3 people at a time so you can take care of situations. You can't have that dude just beating you up, making you look like a chump.
He got
the best of him at the end, but he really had to put some work in to do it.
Yeah, he had to put in that damn work. So that disappointed me too. Now let's talk about the Haley Montavious Mercedes situation. Now this one I think I jumped off the Mercedes bandwagon too, because she pissed me off yesterday too. All right. So Montavious, it was. Montavious is in there hemming up Haley. Mercedes finally realizes something is wrong. So she brings the bottle, she goes in there. All right.
First she did try to go find Cliff and Big L in them. So she did try.
She did, and Big L had his own thing he was trying to do, and he's supposed to have sent Diamond, but Diamond was running the door and all that. But when Mercedes got in there, y'all, and she had that bottle, instead of trying to crack the bottle to make it a sharp object to stab Montavious, why not just take the bottle and hit him directly in the forehead first? Somebody please tell me.
Him. I thought she had put some type of thing to make him drug him or something. I thought she had put that in the glass, and that's why she came in with the champagne.
I did too.
I was like, "What are you doing? What's our thought process right now?"
Right, Larry, talk about that situation.
I have to say, I was not a fan of Mercedes for a very long time, and I have to say, after watching that scene, Mercedes is a straight up ride or die. I mean, if you saw the way when she saw that on those cameras and Uncle Cliff's, she was booking. Man, she had them 6-inch heels on. She was booking through the club, through the hallways, man. She was running like she was Tariq. She was all through that joint, and then came through. Bottle service, I don't know when she stopped and caught her breath because she was rolling. She came through. She was fresh. Bottle service, like she didn't even run. and she was like, I'm not leaving unless my girl Haley wants me to leave. I'm not leaving.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because they made it seem like before she was sort of down for the girls, but mostly she was about her business and trying to get her club. She didn't seem like she was down for anybody but herself. And apparently that's just not the case. And I felt kind of bad because, you know, after all that, she tried to go back to be with her mama and needed someone there for her. Her mom was like, I'm dead. Do you remember? No.
Why she go back to her mama anyway? Like,
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I hated that scene too. Why did you go back crying to your mama in the first place? I hated that.
I think she needed a place of refuge, and she was hoping that was going to be it. I think she was thinking, okay, well, this is my mom's supposed to be a woman of the Lord, and she's my mama on top of that. Maybe she'd find her place of refuge, and she found none.
Not only did she go back to the mama, she went back to the mama in front of the property the mama took from her. Ain't no Lord in that. And I'm sitting here, she should have went to Uncle Clifford if she needed that. She needed some emotional healing. And I will give big shouts out to Autumn Night. I'm back on her train because she could have left Mercedes in there with Montavious. And she came back.
Don't give her all that credit because she was about to leave her. The fact that she didn't go try to find nobody, tell nobody. Don't be giving her credit to where it's not due. Cause
but she went back.
I give her a little credit because she did go back, but she was out the door in the cars.
Yeah, so, you don't get in trouble for a crime.
Before you did that, like you could have at least went and got somebody and said what happened, and you could have left. Like she wasn't gonna tell nobody. She was finna leave this girl in the room by herself. At least Mercedes tried to go get Big L or Uncle Cliff before she had even went to the little boom boom room, the paradise room. She did that before she even made it in there.
Well, Sharonda, think about it like this. Think about it like this. She's probably got Stockholm just as much as Mississippi has it because she tried to kill Montavious before and she tried to run from him. So I give her credit for being brave enough because, like he said, she always runs from every situation.
Right, but the girl in the predicament because of you. That's different. Like Mercedes wouldn't have been in that predicament unless she tried to go save her. She could have stayed in her coach.
Agreed.
I have two things. One, I'm really curious to see how Mercedes is how her character is gonna play out over the next season because she acts like she's hard and like she's built for that life, but she killed that dude and she's not right. She went back to her mama over that stuff, trying to get some, trying to go back to the church. She was up there shaking, after she got rejected, putting her head and what's his name's shoulder, asking if it's taken care of. She's not right over that. She's not built for that life like that. But the other thing is, see, I lost my train of thought. But they still, she's still not built for that life.
She's gonna go to the coach next season, and she's gonna take up on that awful deal. And that's why I don't understand why women try to get with these rich dudes because they literally own you. They own you.
That was it. That was my other point.
House at any point in time, I'm gonna take 50% of your company. Like he owns her, literally.
And this was my other point. I didn't understand why when Autumn offered her the other 10 grand that she would have had all the money that she needed, she was like, nah, and she gave it back to her. I only take what I work for. But then she's willing to go and become some dude's courtesan or something, I mean, that's just crazy. I don't understand why she just didn't take the 10 grand from Autumn Night. It wasn't like she wasn't really working and hustling for it. And
she was being prideful. That's the problem. Like she was being too prideful. And I don't think that she thought he was gonna make her like adhere to the original deal. I thought she was gonna be able to finesse him, get the 10K. Because that's the thing, like these dudes act like they got money, but the fact that you was really asking her to do all of that over 10,000, I would have been like, well, sir, give me $1 million. Because you got me going to events and stuff. I'm making public appearances and stuff for you for 10,000? For 10,000? Know your worth.
Yeah, well, Carla Williams says Big L starting to sell drugs. I mean, is he going back to selling drugs? Because it seemed like he was already in the game and got up out of it.
So now, ladies and gentlemen, we have to talk about the Little Murder Uncle Clifford situation when Little Murder was in there. And Larry said this some weeks ago. Larry said that if you is really trying to keep an image of being a rapper, if they find out that you like men, it's going to be a problem. And you saw them play into that storyline with this guy from Guap Music, wherever the hell, Guacamole Music, wherever the hell he came from. Yeah, Big Guap. I like guacamole. I like it made at home, whatever the hell music industry he came from. But you saw that
showing
play.
Your age, bro. Showing your age.
Hey, man, you got to cook it at the house, baby. You saw that narrative come into play, but you saw Uncle Clifford come and put his hand on Little Murder. Right. Now, if we go backwards, before Little Murder took Uncle Clifford out into the woods with the car and the lights and confessed his love and all that, Uncle Clifford told Little Murder, we can't have a public life. So my question to you two is, do you feel like Uncle Clifford got a little too emotional in the manner that Little Murder rejected him, considering he set the predicate that we shouldn't be having a public life in the first place?
He is wrong because he sold him on this dream. Because Uncle Cliff was okay, like being in the dark. You do your career. I'm gonna support you. I know that this will hurt your career, so we don't have to be out in the public. And Little Murder tried to sell him on this dream that he was ready to like do all these things. Like even had Uncle Cliff thinking that it was possible to actually do it. I don't think that that's something that Uncle Cliff thought had even conceived. Like in her mind that that's something that could happen in real life even before, Uncle Cliff met Little Murder. So I think he's wrong because he's the one who sold these dreams, these lies. And literally 2 hours later, an hour later, you already reneged. Like it ain't even been a 24-hour time period. I just thought it was a bit much. Like, I don't think if Little Murder had not had that understanding with Uncle Cliff, I don't even think Uncle Cliff would have put her hand on his shoulder in the first place. Okay. Like that's not something that Uncle Cliff would have had even done, but it's based on what Little Murder said. Little Murder set the expectations, and that's how Uncle Cliff was acting accordingly.
Okay, Larry.
I know Larry's gonna say something crazy.
No, see, well, here's the thing. I think that they're both wrong in some respects. I mean, you did have Little Murder up there selling this idea that he was ready to be out there in the public and whatnot. But then you also have Uncle Clifford up there saying, no, we can't do this. We can't do this. So he's telling Little Murder, look, this is the way things are. You may want to be public. I may want to be public, but we can't do that because it's dangerous. It's not only dangerous for your career, it's dangerous for our personal safety because we could end up floating in the river. And so this idea that they can be together. So when Uncle Clifford came in the room and put his hand on Little Murder's shoulder, Little Murder didn't like shrug his shoulder off or push his hand away. He just looked forward and said, "We're doing business." And I mean, for some people, even if he was with Uncle Clifford, Uncle Clifford was his man or his woman, whatever pronoun he would use. The point is, even then, if Little Murder feels like he's doing business, he still might have reacted the same way. Like, yeah, you're my girl or you're my man, whatever. We're together, but we're doing business. Bounce. That might have been how he responded anyways.
It doesn't hold up, Larry, because they all think that he's with Mississippi and he invited Mississippi to come and talk business. So you can't use that because literally Mississippi did the exact same thing, especially when she challenged Guacamole and had to check him and say, don't be talking about Uncle Cliff like that. Like, it's not going to ride. And how Mississippi held it down, that's how Murder was supposed to hold it down. Because even before that, you wouldn't even have the platform that you have if Uncle Cliff didn't let you perform in the club. You wouldn't even have the platform.
That may be the case, but all that is behind all the stuff that we see is because we have privileged access as viewers. The rest of the characters don't see all that. So, I mean, personally, it may have been insensitive. It may not have been the best way to handle things, but I think Uncle Clifford's response to it may have been that Lil Murder should have handled it better, but I also think that Uncle Clifford's reaction to it was also probably beyond what it should have been. Both of them didn't handle the situation as well as they could have, and they probably both are now a little butthurt, and they need to go get themselves their feelings in check and talk it out, because it doesn't seem like that should be that big of a deal.
Now,
they need to establish some boundaries and then move forward.
Well, here's the real big deal. Big Guap guy, he didn't care about Little Murder in the first. He was there for Keyshawn.
But he had it though. I mean, I'm so happy about PValley and the fact that they actually portray these women as athletes, because when he was talking about that Nike deal, that was real. Like, I don't think people know that a couple of years ago, they were actually about to make pole dancing an Olympic sport. It was about to be a part of the Olympics, because it takes a lot of athleticism to do that stuff. Even take the twerking out of it, it takes a lot of athleticism to be able to do that. And so the fact that and I think also too, it puts more respect on strip clubs, because that's how people, like, if you want to know if your song is going to hit mainstream, people take their records to the strip club to see how the audience reacts to it. And so it just puts
do we want stripping going mainstream like that? Do we want it to become a respectable, viable career option for people?
But it is a respectable career option. There are competitions. Yes, there are literally world competitions for pole dancers to go. I know
there's world competitions for it. There's also a world competition for Miss Nude. Do you want your daughter to be Miss Nude? I'm just saying, there's a lot of stuff that's world competitions that aren't necessarily thought of as socially acceptable.
But stripping and pole dancing are two different things. Like, they are pole dancing, but they're stripping at the same time. Pole dancing is a totally different thing. So it's nothing different than dance or gymnastics or anything like that. I just think that we mesh the two together, and we think that
gymnastics and modern dance aren't sexualized. Those are two different. Those are athletic endeavors. The pole dancing is a sexualized form of athletics, if you want to call it that.
Very much sexualized. Even look at how they dress little girls. And even how you look at pageants and stuff with little girls dancing and stuff, I think it's definitely been sexualized. All of these things. But
we're not talking about pageants, we're talking about athletics.
But even when you go to a strip club, if you go to a Magic City, you know that you're not just watching people for stripping, you're watching them to see the tricks that they do on the pole. It is an actual show that you are seeing.
Do you want your daughter to grow up with aspirations of being a pole dancer or a stripper?
I've been dancing for 4 years, so I don't have that stigma. I actually took class like twice a week for pole dancing and did performances and all of that. So I don't see it the way that everyone sees it, as this sexualized thing, because I know the conditioning and everything that you have to do in order to be able to do
I think you're mistaken the fact. I think that you might be under the impression that I don't respect the physicality of it, that I do respect it. I've said it numerous times that when I see these women on these poles, they are doing things that are athletically, just mind-boggling. The way that they can control their body is amazing, but it's still a sexualized form of whatever, what you want to call it, art or athletics. That is the foundation of it. And so I still ask the question, is that what you want your daughter to grow up to aspire to be a pole dancer or a stripper?
My daughter can be a pole dancer because I was a pole dancer. So if you guys, the same stuff that these people are doing in the strip clubs is the same stuff they do in Cirque du Soleil. They just ain't got their ass and titties showing. And that's why you guys are trying to group stuff together. And that's a problem. I'll send you some videos, because it really is world competitions where people win thousands of dollars for the stuff that they do, and pole dancing is a form of dance, and you'll actually see them do dance routines and a part of their pole workout as well. So I just think it's an education thing, and people need to be educated about it, because when we hear pole dancing, I think I'm showing my ass and titties, and that's not the same thing.
Well, because they work in a strip club called the Pink.
They're strippers. They're stripping. But if Mrs. can't even say it. If Keyshawn took that contract she could actually like go and do pole competitions, and it's a totally different world than her being at the pink stripping.
Well, Larry, I hate to not be with you on this, but because I've had friends who have done pole dancing class, I fully understand that this is a thing. They don't strip. Now, do they wear some provocative attire? Some of them do, but they're not stripping. You're not seeing butts and breasts and vaginas.
They wear the same thing that volleyball players would wear because your skin has to be exposed. Your sides have to be exposed in order to hold your body on the pole. But it's
so let me ask you. So let me ask you when say at like 12, 13 years old, should they have pole dancing competitions for middle school kids?
I think that's fine. If you look at some of the stuff that little girls wear now for their gymnastics or their dance competitions, I don't see anyone having a problem with the booty shorts and the sports bras that they wear as their competition clothing.
Well, some people do have a problem with it, but it's not just about the clothes that they're wearing. With pole dancing, it's also about what they're doing with it. Some people talk about the dance. Some of these dances that happen today, some people say they're over sexualized. When you look at some of these girls that are on the cheerleading teams or on the dance teams, and they're up there twerking and dropping it and all the other stuff, a lot of people say that's way too sexualized.
But there's nothing. The thing is, you're making a comment. You haven't seen pole dance competitions, and
I have seen them. You made an assumption. I have seen them.
Pole dancing competition videos that I watch, I never see twerking. I never see twerking. So
no, I haven't.
I didn't say twerking for pole dancing. I said some of the other dances, some of these other dance types where they have competitions, they do that. Like when you have some of the.
But I don't see people using that justification as to why these little girls be dancing like that in just regular dance competitions. So I don't think it's a something that you can compare to say, like, are you okay with little girls doing this? Little girls do that now, and I don't see nobody saying nothing.
They do say it. There's a lot of people that have problems with that.
I don't know why we're comparing that to a pole dance routine that doesn't require them to dance like that. Like, it's actual technical things that they have to do for pole dancing. You're on
because the foundations of pole dancing is sexual at its base. It came from strip clubs. It is a sexualized form of art. I'm not denouncing it, saying that it's a bad thing, that people shouldn't do it. I'm just saying let's not try and make it something that it's not.
I'll send you real videos of actual pole competitions, because if you've seen an actual pole competition, there's no twerking. There's nothing.
I didn't say there was I did not say there was twerking in the pole dancing competitions.
I did.
Sharonda, I didn't say that.
I'll send y'all a video. It's okay. I'm just gonna agree.
Sharonda, I just want you to understand, I did not say there was twerking in the pole dancing. That's not what I said. I was talking when I specifically talked about other forms of dance.
Hello, I'm still here. Hello. Can we move right along here? We're not going to solve this tonight.
I'm going to look at videos though to send to you.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm cool with it. I've seen it. I know what this is about. I've got friends that have done it for exercise. I would love to see Sharonda pull herself to the top of the pole, though.
I'm talking about as competitions that literally have to work, condition.
No, I agree with you. I'm not saying that's not true.
Blowfly 3000 in the comments telling Asler to shut his Bible thumping butt up. First of all, if you're gonna tell somebody to do something, make sure you spell check, because butt has 2 T's. So next, if I am not Bible thumping. If I get to Bible thumping, I'll start breaking out verses on you. And I am not some prude that does not appreciate some good pole dancing, some stripping work, and I can appreciate all of it.
But you make it seem like everything is sexual.
We're moving on. We are moving on, and nobody's solving the pole dancing thing tonight. We're gonna move on. Last question about PValley, because we still got something to cover here. What are both of you guys looking for next year? What do you need to see happen for next year, starting with Sharonda?
They need to do more backstories. I felt like we wasted a lot of time on Haley, and Haley's not interesting like that to me.
You're not happy? You're not happy she bought Club Pink?
I mean, I think that's fine, but I just felt like we spent a whole season like there's this great mystery behind Haley, and to be honest, all of the other characters are more exciting. Like, I need the backstory on Mississippi and Zach Morris and how they got together, because I feel like there's like a deeper connection, and I feel like Gidget has some type of connection to Zach, And I need to know about Gidget's, like literally your mother is on drug, like you give your mother drugs. Like I want to learn about that. I want to learn more about the mystery behind Mercedes getting pregnant at like 13 or 15 and who her baby daddy was, because we saw when she was telling her she wished she would have had the chance to say goodbye to somebody. And so that's the stuff that I want to see. Like I want to know, what is Brittany and Andre's relationship like? Like what was their relationship like before he came to Chuckalisa? Because clearly they were having issues, which is why he started this whole project anyway. So I just feel like there's a lot of deeper ways that they can go into these characters and even go into Diamond's character as well. Because just like Larry was saying, how you special forces and you let Zach Morris like beat your ass. We were all confused by it. So I just want them to give equal screen time to more people. I definitely think that Montavious's gang is going to come and start giving Haley and Uncle problems for the Pink. I think that that's going to be a huge part of Haley's storyline. But I would just rather have more answers with some of the characters, and even answers about who Haley's baby daddy is, who is Autumn's dad. Because like we saw Montavious was Autumn's dad, and he isn't. So I just want them to delve a little bit deeper into these characters, and not, because they literally made the show seem like Haley is the main character, and she really isn't. Like everyone's more consumed with everybody else but Haley.
Mm-hmm. Now, Larry, I posed that question to you, but someone I want to see their backstory. I am a huge fan of Loretta Devine. Whenever she puts her name on something, that chick shuts it down. I want to know her stripping backstory. But I give you the same question, Larry.
Well, I don't think when she had to join, I don't think it was a strip club, because when she said that, when she had it, she said it was, I think it was a juke joint, and she talked about Uncle Clifford turned it into a strip joint.
Okay.
So I don't think she was actually stripping. I think she might have been sort of like that one, like she might have been like Ronnie's mama in The Chi, where she owned a juke joint.
R.I.P. girl.
Yeah, R.I.P. Miss Ethel. R.I.P. Ronnie too, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah. No, too, child.
So I feel the same way. There's there's a lot of backstory on these characters I would like to know about. That I just feel like they just didn't give us enough. Even the main character that was supposed to be there in Haley, I feel like we still just didn't get enough backstory to really care about her. I feel like to be vested, you really need to care about these characters, and I just didn't feel like we got enough backstory to really care. The only one that we got enough backstory on, sort of, was Mississippi, which wasn't even really enough backstory. We just got to know her enough and feel for her, and then she just made us just be like, oh hell, you know what, you're getting what you deserve at this point.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I was looking at Diamond, like Diamond might be the Captain Save-A-Ho for her, but now I'm looking at the way dude served up Diamond. I was like, he might not even be able to protect her, even if he wanted to.
Well, here's the deal.
So,
for all we know, Keyshawn's baby daddy might have military or some kind of police training or some special forces training.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. And then Big L, it just seemed like when everything started going sideways, it was like his first thing that he fell back to was going back to crime. It's just some of these characters, they led them down a path that made me just not really care about them. Where I'm just like, whatever.
I do want to say, I just also too, I want to know who watches Keyshawn and Zach Morris's kids. Because how y'all both at the strip club, who with these babies?
That's a good point.
I know who the babysitter is. Who with the babies? And I want to meet his little raggedy family, because I feel like it's gonna be just some. I don't know if they're gonna be a hillbilly family or if they're gonna be this rich family, but I know it's gonna be something that's gonna piss me off. When as soon as I figure out what type of background that Derek comes from, it's gonna piss me off. I already know it is.
And you know that PValley, they got renewed for another season. Hopefully, we'll get more than 8 episodes. And they can definitely dig into all those storylines you guys mentioned and have an even better season than what they had in this one. So,
well, I'll say this: I think he probably comes from a bit of money, And I think that he was probably disowned. He probably does not have access to any of that money because of him being with Keyshawn, which is probably one of the reasons why he's so angry all the time. Plus, he's just a racist. But I think he doesn't have access to his family's money and his family's influence and his family's prestige anymore because he's with Keyshawn, which is the reason why she's still stripping. Because I would imagine if his family came from money and she got pregnant, they probably just would have been like, just get married and they would have been fine. And now they would have lived their life. But so, I mean, it seems to me like he's probably just doing whatever he can do to get by, and she's hustling, stripping. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's just that whole thing. I mean, it confuses me on one end because it feels like that she took that gun, maybe like she was planning on busting a cap in his ass later. Like she was going to go home, and if dude got out of hand, she was just going to go ahead and finish it off that night. But then when she saw Diamond taking care of it, then all of a sudden she started feeling some sort of way. And apparently the actress who plays Keyshawn,
she read it.
She was up there. She was writing stuff on Twitter and Instagram telling people like, I was horrified when I read this and felt like she needed to go on and explain the character's motivations, because people must have been sending her all kinds of hate messages, because she was like, hold on, people, I didn't like it either, So
well, they did a good job, and they certainly had all the spectrums in this show under the rainbow that we like.
You know what I would like to see though, and I don't know if he could do it because he would have to move down there, but it would actually be very interesting if Andre moved to Chucalissa and actually ran for mayor. That could be an interesting storyline, because the dude is an educated. He's a lawyer. He's an educated dude, so he's out there. If he has any political acumen at all, it's a possibility. He knows the business community, so it's something that maybe could work. And his wife, I think she's one of those people who probably, even though she may care about him, I think she also probably equally as much cares about the idea of them together as a power couple. And so if he says, I'm going back down there because I'm going to run for mayor, she might be willing to pick up and go and move to Atlanta, from Atlanta down there, because she was really anxious to get them back to Atlanta. And he might be like, no, I'm going to run for office. And I think
where did all of them get these bruises, though? Can y'all explain that to me? Haley had all these bruises under her eye, and I saw
they were fighting.
Time y'all was on his back, and then Uncle Clifford, I was just really confused. Like, how you got all them bruises and you didn't want to cover it up? Like, as much as couldn't even say her name, Keyshawn wanted covered up her bruises. I was just like, girl, you didn't want to put no makeup on? Like, when nobody asking no questions, like.
And with that big old hat on, I was about to ask, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Yeah, right. I thought about that too. And at the end of the day, before we move on to the last show we've got to cover, they did establish to let us know that Mercedes is the one who killed Montavious. So she's going to be having that scarlet letter on her mind as we go into the next season.
Life. She's not built for that life.
Doesn't seem like it. I mean, she came out of her lace front when she got done with that. So we'll see. We'll definitely
you know what's going to be interesting to see what happens, because that dude that she's real cool with, the one that always has the ankle monitor on, I think he might come out. I think he might be her Captain Sava, because when them Delta boys come looking for her, I think he might be the one that has to come to her defense. And we don't know much about him except for the fact that dude's sort of deep, that he's on, we know he's on house arrest, but it seems like he's got some ties out there that they alluded to are pretty deep. So,
Well,
we'll see.
Good discussion, Sharonda and Larry. Moving on to the very last show we're going to cover today. We will have to do the boys Wednesday, Larry, because it's almost my shift with my daughter.
Right.
Lovecraft Country episode 4. I'm glad we've got the resident expert on the show today, who's probably done seen the whole entire series and ain't told nobody. She know everything. We got Sharonda in the building. Break down episode 4 in a quick 2-minute synopsis and tell us what you think, because this show is really, really good. Every episode feels like a finale.
Before she goes, I just want to point out that there are plenty of dark-skinned black women in Lovecraft Country. Don't roll your eyes. You know they're there. Two, at least two.
Who?
Letty's sister and George's widow.
Okay, you're right. I forgot.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Ingenue. I'm so sorry. Yeah, but
and the ancestors.
I wanted to talk about the boys.
Well, if we can do this one in about 10 minutes, then we can do the boys last, because I want to talk about it too, because that show is hella good.
We need to talk about the boys.
Yeah,
we got to talk about it twice if we have to talk about it short today. So let's go ahead.
Yeah, let's get Lovecraft first.
Sum it up real quick, y'all. Am I just saying what happened?
No, give me your general feeling of what happened, how you feel about the episode.
I'm really interested by this because when I binged the episodes, I really liked this episode, but a lot of people were saying this was the weakest episode so far.
I totally disagree with that, but go ahead and finish your point.
Like, to see Black people on an adventure, they took us through some journey in the center of the earth. In those Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes.
Like, look at Black people out here discovering and exploring. Okay.
Now that's what, Sharonda, that's why some Black people don't like it, because I keep hearing this, and I try not to pick on these people about they need to kind of expand their horizon with their shows and movies. Too many Black people start saying that this thing is too weird for them, that they can't keep up with it. So I feel like what they did on this last episode might have just been too weird for a lot of Black people, but it's right up my alley.
This is too weird. They need to go read some Octavia Butler. You know? I liked it. I mean, we were getting all kinds of like Indiana Jones vibes and stuff. You know, you're the Mummy, all these types of throwbacks to like 80s and 90s adventure films. It was just a lot of fun to watch. I mean, I mean, this is what I was showing up for. I want to see this. That's I want to see Black people put in the places where we naturally would be anyway. I mean, people think, oh, Black folks don't do anything. We don't go anywhere. How do you think all these Black folks got everywhere? Black folks didn't get taken from one place to the other because of slavery. Black folks been running around the world since the world was the world, you know? So I'm happy to see all this adventure. I'm happy to see them doing all this. I'm still trying to figure out why they just didn't take that elevator down instead of taking this long trip to Boston.
All that gas money wasted.
You know, I mean, come on. I know they weren't really worried about the environment back then, but at least from a financial side, you know. And what happened to dude? They said that he said, I want to go with you because I have a Philly in Philly and I want to ride. Why did he go all the way to Boston with him?
He just wanted to ride halfway there. He was going to take the bus to Philly from Boston.
But why did he go all the way to Boston? Why did they just drop him off on the way?
He nosy too. I mean, he don't know how to mind his business.
So I'll tell you, one of the best lines in that episode though was when he was trying to kick it to Letty and talking about he had a long something, and she said, "Yeah, so I should already know because I guess we fucked when we were in high school." Because remember, he told
trying to say they smashed somebody, they didn't. Like,
stop. Don't tell that lie. Don't tell that lie. You know.
So overall,
that's just crazy.
From episode 4, who would you say gave the best acting performance? Sharonda.
I mean, Montrose was so raggedy in that episode. Like, I want to say him, but I really hated what he did at the end of the episode. It was so cheap. But Atticus just saying that, I don't know why this line sticks with me so much, but when Letty was like, Atticus, you bleeding, he was like, I know, Letty, damn. And I was just like, right, Letty, why are you stating the obvious? Like, what are you doing? I kind of like Atticus in this episode because she was really getting on his.
What did she say to him?
She was like, oh my God, Atticus, you're bleeding. He was like, she was trying to touch his arm. He's like, I know, Letty, damn. Because that's like how you would respond to somebody like, damn, okay, Captain Obvious. Like, why are you? I know.
Right. I want to know why he had to take his shirt off, though. He got cut. Why did he have to take his shirt off?
Because he wanted to bless us with his biceps and his They continue to show up and show out every time there is a way that I get to lust after Atticus And I'm just thank
I just
you.
want you to keep that in mind the next time that I have when there's some little thirst trap on screen. I just want you to keep that in mind. You know,
I don't have people fall into the thirst trap. I fall for it every week on Lovecraft. I'm good. I support it.
We'll end Lovecraft on that one. It was a great episode, ladies and gentlemen. You're not
ready for next week.
What's happening next week?
You've already seen it, huh?
Next week, y'all gonna have a lot to discuss.
Are you coming back next week? Are you coming back next week, Sharona? Can I get you on the record right now?
I don't know.
Here we go.
This.
Okay,
man. I love that line though. I love when Letty looked at that dude floating. She said, "I think that was my missing neighbor from across the street."
Right. You know what? I can come back next week because PValley goes, so there's nothing for me and Larry to argue about anymore.
What?
Well,
you don't think I can find something?
Unless something pop up on Power, there could always be something popping up on Power. And having said that, ladies and gentlemen, we are to the final show. The boys, and damn, man, probably out of everything we've talked about, I think I'm mostly invested in this show. This has been a damn good show. These first 3 episodes was great.
Man.
I want to get Sharonda and Larry's opinion. Let me just first say that this new chick that they got up there, Stormfront,
a trick.
It's like they took the powers of Thor, gave it to her minus the damn hammer, and she is all girl power. She is really kicking Homelander's ass in essence because y'all know he wants to be the front man, the hype man, and legitimately, oh yeah, she's kicking Homelander.
Man, she is a nasty white supremacist.
To some degree, yes.
To some degree, she is.
But
I mean, her character is based off of it was a guy in the comics,
right. But they are changing her to kind of be girl power too. So I see that going on with her, and I want to get y'all's opinion of the whole. Sharada, just break down the whole first 3 episodes. How you feel about it? Dive on into it. Look at this guy.
What happened in the 3rd episode?
You didn't see the 3rd episode?
I've seen the whole season, so that's why you gotta tell me what happened.
Okay. See, she get all the exclusive access. Oh Lord! And then she tried to do it on the low. I don't want
to spoil that. That's why I was like,
man. Third episode is when Stormfront killed the Asian girl's brother, and they ran through the Deep's well, buddy, and she made Homelander look like he had egg on his face because she got in front of the microphone, took his shine, and that's how it ended episode 3.
Okay, yeah, all right. So the first 3 episodes, I think they did a great job. I mean, it's good because you never thought that you would hate someone more than you hate Homelander. And then Stormfront is like, hey, hold my beer because I got this. Like, and the way that because at first you think she's just like, oh, she's just going against the grain. Like she just corporate lingo. She gonna do her own thing. So I thought she was gonna bring some positive change.
Yes.
And then she started killing all the people in the like lower income housing complex. I was like, ma'am, like they wasn't even fighting you. What are we doing? And when we get to her brother, I was just like, wow. So you like a racist Karen? You like Karen? I was
she snapped that. She killed him and then called him a yellow bastard.
Yes.
Snapped his wrist off. But what got me was why the hell did she have to throw the black people through the building?
So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what was sending me because I was just like, girl, like they went nowhere near, like you didn't have to touch them. So I was just really confused the whole time. Why are we killing all these black people right now? But when we got to that part, I was just like, well, I mean, she ain't no different than the police. I mean, if we're gonna be honest about it, and I think that's what makes the boys so good is because this you can totally look at this as a metaphor. Like these people are supposed to serve and protect the world from these threats, these super terrorists from the bad guys, and they're out here doing some shady stuff, and the government is just cleaning it up.
Yeah,
Larry, it's on you.
I mean, Soon as I saw her name, Stormfront, I was like, yeah, she's a racist. I was like, because Stormfront is the name of that neo-Nazi website. And then she's up there just killing the black people for no reason. And then she kills dude and calls him a yellow bastard. I was like, yeah, she's a racist. You know, I'm still trying to figure out what they've been feeding Starlight, because I just don't remember her having all that bumper in the back last season. And I know they talked about it because I know Stormfront mentioned something about her and her uniform being all extra this year. But I just don't remember I just don't remember all that. And so, but they've really just, I mean, I know you've seen the whole season, but what's her name? That's like sort of the spinoff of Wonder Woman. They haven't like given her any real time in like the first 3 episodes. So I don't know what they have planned for her.
Yeah.
What's her name again? Queen what?
I think it's Maven. Maven,
right? Some child. It's someone else.
It's something with an M. And she's the one that's got the powers like Wonder Woman, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if they're gonna make us have to feel some sort of way about Homelander, because they're gonna if you end up where you have this fight between a fascist white supremacist and then Homelander, who is just a dick. You know who Homelander reminds me of, Larry? If you take Donald Trump and mesh him with Mike Pence and make him a superhero, the first 3 episodes, that's who I thought of when I thought of Homelander. I was like, I hate him. I hated him. And I was actually rooting for Stormfront up until the very last. Well, me and you've only seen the first 3. So I was rooting for her until she went in there and killed the black people. She went in there and killed the Oriental guy, and then she started implementing her dominance. Because I really wanted someone to whip Homelander's ass, but that went out the window at the end of episode 3. I'll tell you, these writers need to be careful before them Scientologists come after them. You know, with their little spinoffs of that. Poking fun at their church. Them Scientologists don't play, boy.
Hey, look, man,
they're gonna come after them.
They had to do something with the deep, poor fella. He looks at his body with shame. And did y'all notice how Homelander kept poking fun of his gills?
He didn't even poke fun of him. He said your uniform's ripped. He said, cover that up. I can see your gills. That's gross. And you can see the conflict in the deep at the time, because he had just gone through this where he was trying to get to terms with his own body. And then he was like, now Homelander's telling him that stuff is gross. And you can see the conflict where he's like, well, what do I do? Do I accept myself, or do I try and be a part of the 7? So, you know.
I want to do better with the Deep and A-Train storylines. I just don't feel like they give them enough in the show.
Well, speaking of them, what about Black Noir?
Who?
The guy that wear all black. He looked like Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe.
Oh, okay.
He's a black dude underneath the Black Noir. Yeah. They don't give him any screen time.
I thought you said Black McGuire. I said, who's Black McGuire?
Now, here's one thing. If you guys haven't noticed, is that Mother's Milk t-shirt game is on point.
Yeah. Yeah,
dude's shirts are on fire every episode.
Yeah.
Wait, who?
Mother's Milk.
The black dude that's with Butcher and the crew.
Yeah.
Liza. Okay.
Yeah.
But they really
but he had that retro BDP shirt on, his Black Panther food program.
He be fresh.
Yeah, man.
I want them to do better by those characters, because I just don't feel like it's one of those things when you have a show that has way too many people on it, because you have all the suits like a part of the 7, and then you have everyone that's a part of the boys. It's just hard to really delve into like these different characters. So that's like my one critique of season 2. I wish they would have done that, because it's hard, especially when you're introducing new characters on top of that. It's just a little hard to balance the screen time.
No, I agree, because they all, when they're on screen, they all seem like they're very important in that moment. And I wish they all had more time so that we can get to know them. And I mean, some of these cable shows, I know they run like 10 episodes, 8 episodes, sometimes 12. I really feel like this is one of those shows that could have been a full like network TV season, a full 22, 24 episodes, and we would have been fine with it.
Yeah, because you would have had the opportunity to flesh out more of the stories, get even a little deeper into each character. But in episode 3, Now, Sharonda, I'm trying to take her back to understand the moment we're in.
Since she didn't seen the whole season already.
Yeah. Now, she knows what I'm about to say.
One of those special Negroes.
Yeah, man. And Larry, get this. She ain't even light-skinned, Larry, and she getting special privileges.
I know. You know?
You know what I'm saying? Put us dark-skinned brothers on. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying, who'd you give a massage? Harvey Weinstein? You know?
I hope not. Damn,
I hope not too.
But anyway, did you notice how something was wrong with A-Train? He was going dizzy. And Larry, I'm kind of speaking to you, but Sharonda at the same time. Is there something that's going on with Compound V that could be, a side effect that they didn't warn people about? Is there something that could be a snafu in their powers? Highlight that for us, Sharonda, from what you saw in episode 3.
No spoilers. She can't even do it. She's like, my mind's too blended together because I've seen it all.
I would just tell you I wouldn't look that deep into that.
Okay, never mind. Well, Larry, don't need to answer that question. Last thing I want to know, the relationship between Huey and Starlight. Are either one of y'all feeling that relationship? Do y'all feel like that's a good part of this story?
I'm more interested in the French dude and the Asian super chick.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. I mean, I want them to be together, but it's just like there's just more people that I care about than their characters. So I'm just like, yeah.
There's one thing I'm curious about her is how did she go from being like caged up and basically a prisoner to all of a sudden now she's got her eyebrows done, her skin looks all nice and refreshed, like she's been using some oil of Olay or something. I mean, she looks like she's like straight on point. How'd that happen so quickly?
She's a superhero.
Okay. Then how'd she ever get bad?
They probably been trying to help her like be incognito, like, hey, we're all wanted now, so you need to look a little bit normal because you're definitely gonna throw this off.
Maybe so. I am curious to see what's gonna happen with those two, and I'm curious to see what's gonna happen with little dude that looked like little Brightburn baby. I forgot the boy's name.
I don't know nobody. I know who you're talking about.
The son, yeah man, because it looked like he was about to give it to Homelander when he pushed his mama.
Okay, so y'all saw when he pushed him off the roof.
Yeah. Okay. We saw that. We saw that, and we saw Homelander get into it with his mother, and Homeboy pushed Homelander to the ground, and his eyes turned red on her. I was about to say,
he was like, square up right now.
Yeah, he did.
I'm sick of you. Square up, because then nobody invite you. We tell you to come here. We were minding our own business. What are you doing?
He was like, first he was like, I don't want to be this. But man, when he touched his mom, he was about that business. He was about to give it to him. So yeah, that might be a fun story to see. I don't know what Sharonda's already seen it, so but whatever. I think they might save a large part of that kid's story for season 3. I think they may play it, but I think we might see a lot of him in season 3.
Well, they're also introducing a new character. They're introducing the Captain America character in season 3.
Oh, are they really? Okay.
Yeah.
The first suit from Compound V.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because you knew sooner or later that Compound V thing was going to start making the rounds, putting more superheroes out there on the streets, Larry. You knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of how are they going to let that story play out. And so I'll finish this. I'll table this discussion with this. Sharonda, you've seen the whole thing. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, how satisfied were you with this whole season?
I would give the season an 8.
Okay.
I think that they do a really great job with Stormfront and taking, because you hate Homelander so much, you just don't think that there's anyone worse than her. And I really like what they do with her storyline. just my main issue with the boys is always we don't focus on the diverse characters that much. A lot of the supporting characters, they're kind of just brushed into the wayside. And that's the main problem that I have, because I think the boys are some of the most interesting characters, even more so than the suits. And we don't spend enough time with them, like delving deeper into their backstories.
Okay. And Larry, so far from what you've seen, what do you hope to see going forward for the next couple of episodes? And Sharonda, how many episodes is this? 8 or 10?
8.
Damn. So Larry, what do you want to see going forward based on the first 3?
I kind of want to see. Somebody mentioned in the comments that says they think Huey's going to drink some of that Compound V, and I kind of want to see a regular person take some Compound V and see what happens to them, and see if they're going to end up becoming like a
Captain America,
in defense of everybody else, and see what goes down with that. And because it could be really interesting if that happens. I don't know if it is going to happen. Sharonda could tell us, but whatever, and but I'm curious to see if regular people end up getting some Compound V and taking it, and what happens with it. So,
go ahead, Sharonda. I'm sorry.
8 episodes.
It is 8 episodes.
8. Damn. I would like to see the boys and regular people figure out a way to hurt the suits. I want there to be some kind of a weapon, some kind of a kryptonite. I want them to be a way that they can punish the suits when they need to without having to become superheroes themselves. And I want them to continue to delve into some other people's storylines besides just the superheroes. I want them to delve a little bit more into some of the boys' backgrounds, but I also want to see somebody come up with something that can just hurt the superheroes going forward. Maybe I have to wait the next season for that. Go ahead.
I think there has to already be something, because what's his name? Giancarlo Esposito, his character, he is so calm when Homelander came up through there. Dude was just so calm.
Right.
Like, it was almost like he was just saying, you little boy, if you don't step up out of here, I'm going to have somebody give you the antidote and turn you regular.
Now, Larry,
it was almost like he had that vibe on him.
I had that vibe from him too, as if he's a superhero or the godfather of all superheroes somehow, some way. And because, anybody who has Superman's powers, you ain't just going to say what you want to say the way he said it. So I'm thinking to myself, maybe he's got either some power or he's got a button and there's a chip in Homelander's head that he can press and blow him up or something.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. We'll see how it goes. Sharonda could tell us if she wanted to.
Yeah, Sharonda's one of those privileged Negroes. Some of us don't get the privilege. Yeah, she's special. Her teeth whiter than ours and shit. So,
I can't.
She's worried about all these all these Mokalaka mixed chicks up in here, and she's up here special.
Very, very much so. And ladies and gentlemen, she's so special. You need to subscribe to her channel. Her link is in the video description. First lady of reviewing movies and TV shows. Really hard job. Subscribe to OG Larry's channel. His link in the description. Of course, subscribe to mine. That's going to do it for this show, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to go show Sharonda some support so she can keep coming back and antagonizing and terrorizing the hell out of Larry. That's why he's losing the hair, ladies and gentlemen. Because Sharonda be pulling that whip out on him. Tow. Don't forget to like our videos, comment, subscribe. Until Wednesday when we go live with E-Man, we'll see you then.
Peace.
Oh, Wakanda forever too, y'all. Wakanda forever, my sister Sharonda. I almost forgot.